I'm excited. I know you are as well. The summer heat feels good on these old bones, especially because we're not putting on pads. We don't have to be out there in that heat running into other people. But I'm glad these guys are. Football is back.
Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11. So here are the Saints with a long field ahead. Leading them out, their quarterback in his 7th season in the NFL, it's Derek Carr.
And one of the things that I think that Derek Carr has really improved in doing since college, his ability to stay in the pocket, things swirling around him, find the right guy, and deliver the ball with accuracy. Derek Carr has great touch when he throws the football.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Now Carr. He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the 15-yard line.
They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
Alvin Kamara hit the NFL with a bang, had double-digit touchdowns in his first 2 seasons. Now, production fell off a little bit last year. Just 6 times did he find the end zone. But his ability to run it and catch it out of the backfield makes him hard to cover. Look for a bounce-back season in 2020.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
Now Carr. And down he goes on the pressure from the Rams defense. The number one mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
And it appears that this was just a letdown from the offensive line, but they do have a tough job because if you're a big tackle out there on the perimeter, sometimes you don't have the agility to keep up with the defensive end who's looking to wreak havoc in the backfield, and he got there and put his man on the ground.
And the next-gen stat's going to illustrate just how quickly a quarterback has to process everything as he was on the ground in under 3 seconds, 2.9 to be precise. Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 49. So the Rams in great position here as they get things started. They'll be led out by their 32-year-old quarterback from the University of Georgia, the 12-year vet, Matthew Stafford. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
And his arm strength is often described as out of this world, and I've seen some throws out of him that are just really off the charts.
Touchdown, LA! For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And according to next-gen stats, his top speed on that one, better than 20 miles an hour. Matt Gay on for the extra point. It's up, it's good, and the Rams take a 7-0 lead. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. Now following the touchdown, Richter to kick off. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And now the Rams have got it, going the other way.
There's never a good place on the field to fumble the ball. Let's just call it as it is.
But definitely not in your own red zone.
In your own red zone, it's heightened, isn't it? Because you're almost automatically giving up a score and the momentum, and everything just changes for your team.
Yeah, so the kickoff fumble, now great field position. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal. Hey, Charles, let's get a look at the draft class for this offense. Remember, no first-round picks this year. They traded it away. How much of a detriment is that?
Well, what they're hoping is the reason they traded away that first-round pick, that player, won't be a detriment. He'll be an improvement.
And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Rams add on to their lead. Second effort there. He was determined to find pay dirt, and he did.
I think that's a great example of what coaches talk about, a back that runs behind his pads, and he uses pads to get him into the end zone.
Gay is on for the point after. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. Following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Adam Troutman, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
To throw again. Carr throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
He's letting it fly for Cooks. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
A very good kick there, but 15 yards on the return. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. The Rams offense now making their way out to take over. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Stafford escaping the pressure right. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete.
Do what we do. Do what we do.
Get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Matthew Stafford, 2 touchdown passes in this first quarter. And the Rams add on to their lead. I think it's fair to say there's nothing that gets a crowd to its feet quite like a big play, and that was something special there. Boy, was he moving.
And normally when you see guys moving this fast, it might be a fly pattern from a receiver or a toss sweep from a tailback or something like that. This was designed as a passing play, and then he got out of the pocket, and he just took off, and he just kept gaining momentum with every step.
And the next-gen stats are going to tell the story, and wow, what a story it is. Nearly a full 23 miles an hour. One of the fastest plays on record, folks. It's good, and before you know it, it's 21-0. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra-quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just one play resulting in the touchdown. Following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. Fielded a couple yards into the end. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And they are going to score on the fumble return. Touchdown, L.A. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing, and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it's stealing it, it's scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
extra point by Gay is up and good. And the rout is on here in this first half.
Sterling Hoffrichter is set to kick off.
And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Adam Troutman, the intended receiver. And now it's second down. Throwing again. Carr toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Adam Troutman, the intended receiver. And now it's third down. From the gun, it's Carr. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first three drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
Fielded at about the 28. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And the Rams are going to start this drive in great field position as they take over. So first and 10 now from the 30. Now a handoff here to his running back. He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. Now a play fake it at Stafford. His throw caught right around the 6. And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. A 24-yard touchdown. And this offense continues to pour it on.
You know, in golf, they often talk about playing the course and not worrying about what the other players are doing, what their scores are. That's essentially what we're seeing from this offense. They're just having fun and doing what they feel like doing today.
Here's Gay now to add the extra point. He's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt.
Set to kick off.
Now following the touchdown, Hoffrichter to kick off. And this carries into the end zone. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The New Orleans offense set to take over. They've got to be absolutely reeling right now. Couldn't have expected to be down this big this early. But that's the spot they're in as they come up to try again here. first down. Carr. His throw incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble.
Matthew Stafford sacked.
Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And that is incomplete.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively, or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
Fielded just inside the 30. So a good punt there, but a very strong 14-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. L.A. set to take over again on offense. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still first down.
And a strange one here, a little befuddled. They're sending out the field goal unit now.
Very long attempt.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger.
Saints nothing.
And that one will go down in the books as just a one-play drive and then 3 points tacked on to the end of it. And this stadium is abuzz after that one, understandably so. I cannot believe he hit that thing.
And you can't help but think back to Tom Dempsey. And his record stood for, what, 43 years until Matt Prater broke it? And now here's a new record. And I'm with you. I cannot believe that ball went through the posts.
And not a great return here. He'll make it back only to the 10-yard line.
Anytime you feel the kickoff inside your own end zone, you've got to be decisive about whether you're bringing it out or not. Sometimes that indecision can really cost you. That may have been what happened on that play.
So not quite 10 from the 10. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line.
Kamara, the ball carrier.
A gain of 3, second down.
13-yard line. A 3-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd and 7.
We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports.
Saints nothing.
And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. They were looking for Johnson that time. 3rd down here.
Intended for Jawan Johnson. Incomplete.
Well, fails. And that will be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
This is fielded at the 27. 35 yards on the return. Picked up some good blocks as well. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. I'm sure he wanted to have a huge game, wants to have a huge game as the quarterback, but really on the ground, they've been very, very hard to stop. Maybe you just keep going to that well.
I think so, and isn't it funny how the definition of balance changes for us from game to game? Sometimes it's 50-50, run it, throw it. Sometimes it's just being a balanced running team in terms of who's carrying the football.
More than one guy.
Right, multiple guys out there, and now your guy back there has to throw it. Doesn't have to worry about it quite as much.
And they've got the lead here in the second quarter. 16 yards is the pickup there, and a 1st down for L.A.
Good, strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Flushed out right. His throw caught right around the 6. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Rams just continue to pour it on. So the quarterback drops to throw, looks over, and boom, a guy that wide open, he has to be thinking, wait a minute, this is some kind of a dream. This is too easy.
Yeah, a great dream. One you don't want to wake up from. But for the defense, almost feels like there was a bust in coverage.
And the route is on here in this first half. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time.
Sterling Hoffrichter set to kick off.
Now following the touchdown, Hoffrichter to kick off. Callaway, the return man. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Throwing his fails. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
And oh, he coughs up the football near his own goal line. And they are going to score on the fumble return. Touchdown, L.A. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. And the route is on here in this first half. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Callaway, the return man. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. Come on, time to play. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take it on a...
And it's a fumble. And now the Rams have got it, going the other way.
Fails on the keeper.
You know, if this is the regular season, partner, we'd be talking about just how costly a mistake that was, but probably good for him to get it out of his system right now.
Just hope for him and the team it's not a sign of things to come.
Yeah, without a doubt. Plus, you got to worry about making the team. Those types of errors don't help you.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Zach Bond in there to drop him, and that will go in the books as the first sack of his young NFL career. Congratulations, young man. He'll run it and stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Well, that was something to behold there. You might expect runs like that from a kick returner or wide receiver, but that's your quarterback hitting top speed.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And the next-gen stats show him reaching at a top speed of 20 miles an hour. And they've got 3 tight ends here on 1st and goal to add some extra mass. Look at this, a tight end carry. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. A 3-yard touchdown run as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
I know a lot of people look at these games and think, all right, this thing's done. Let's have some sportsmanship. Let's not try and score. You should never do that in the NFL. I've seen big leads blown, and teams that looked like they had a victory, all of a sudden we're going home with a loss.
Gay is on for the point after. Is on here in this first half. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it ends with a 3-yard scoring run.
Sterling Hawk-Richter set to kick off.
Now following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. Callaway, the return man. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15.
16-yard line.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over.
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Alton Robinson brings him down, and that's a play he's going to remember. The first sack of his NFL career.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Another try after the first down sack. Fails. In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose.
Touchdown, Rams.
This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. Here's Gay now to add the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Callaway, the return man. And he will make it back to the 15, and that's it. Good coverage there by the kick team.
At their own 15-yard line.
The New Orleans offense set to take over.
And in just about every game we see, partner, what do when we look at the stat sheet? We go right to
the turnover differential.
Without a doubt, because when we see that, that pretty much tells the tale of the game. And I know there's still plenty of time to go, but you've got to take care of the football in order to win it.
And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete. He was trying to get it that time to Brian Edwards, but it's going to be 2nd down. Now a first carry here for Robinson. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, just saw there.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And now the Rams have got it, going the other way. And they are going to score on the fumble return. Touchdown, L.A. Gay is on for the point after. And the route is on here in this first half. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. Callaway, the return man. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive. Then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
When you're in man coverage, you have help over the top, you become a much more confident defender. Trail the receiver and know that someone over the top can make a play, and that's exactly what happened here. The free safety coming up with the interception.
A play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. Oh, man, it's caught inside the 10. A big play there for L.A. 61 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. From 8 yards out, as his guys continue to pour it on. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on 1st and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't recover from it. And you know, they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like their memory was a little too long there.
And the route is on here in this first half. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Now following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. Callaway, the return man. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
At their own 17-yard line.
Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 44.
You're trailing, you're trying to get points late in the half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And did he get in? No, down at the 1-yard line. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on first. And he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. It's their quarterback, keeping it himself from a yard out. And this offense is running away with this one.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
Here's Gay now to add the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone.
Sterling Hofrichter set to kick off.
Now following the touchdown, Hofrichter to kick off. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he doesn't even get this to the 10. He's taken down at the 9.
Anytime you field a kickoff inside your own end zone, you've got to be decisive about whether you're bringing it out or not. Sometimes that indecision can really cost you. That may have been what happened on that play.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Sets up the screen to Robinson. Now Robinson coughs up the football. It's loose. And now the Rams have got it. Going the other way. And they'll spot him at the 3-yard line.
Not your team's ever happy when someone has a turnover, but if there's ever a good time to do it,
preseason.
Yeah, right now. You know that come regular season, he's going to be ready to go, and maybe he'll remember, yeah, I don't want to do this when it comes time for the games to count.
Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great...
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Taking it in from a... with a victory here. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, up a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say good night from Los Angeles.